payments of unnecessary fees and charges. Let me turn to revenue projections, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, supported by the tax policy reforms and administrative measures highlighted above, we project total revenue corrections, including appropriations in aid and grants for the financial year 2023-2024 budget to be Kenya shillings 2.96 trillion, and that is equivalent to 18.2% of gross domestic product, GDP. Of this, ordinary revenue is projected at Kenya shillings 2.57 trillion, equivalent to 15.8% of GDP. Ministerial appropriations in aid is projected at Kenya shillings 348.7 billion, and grants are projected at Kenya shillings 42.2 billion. Expenditure projections, Mr. Speaker. Total expenditure projections in financial year 2023-2024 budget is projected at 3.7 trillion, equivalent to 22.6% of GDP. Of these, recurrent expenditures will amount to Kenya shillings 2.53 trillion, equivalent to 15.6% of GDP. Development expenditures, including allocation to domestic and foreign financed project, contingency fund, equalization fund, and conditional capital transfers to county government, is Kenya shillings 743 billion, equivalent to 4.7% of GDP. Equitable share to county governments is projected at that 385.4 billion shillings.